Good morning, students. So here I am with one more video of a visit to Kaziranga and Session-35. In my last two videos, we have discussed about so many things about particularly Kaziranga and Session-35. Why Kaziranga is famous for, what kind of things we can see in Kaziranga, and moreover, we also came to know about the history of Kaziranga. And we also discussed few more things about Session-35, and still there is some left, and that is what we are going to discuss today. They visited the Thai Museum located on the bank of the Session-35 tank and were fascinated by the swords, cloths, manuscripts, goblets, plates and other rare antiques of the rulers present there. So after visiting the Borpukhuri or Session-35 tank, and after visiting those three sacred temples on the bank of the Borpukhuri, that is Sivadol, Vishnudol and Devidol, they visited the Thai Museum. The museum is the thing where antique things were preserved. And when they visited the Thai Museum, they could see, and they were also very much fascinated to see the swords, cloths, manuscripts, goblets, plates, etc. and the cloths of those kings as well. These are things which were preserved in the Thai Museum. Both Trisha and Lohit was very much excited, very much fascinated to see those ancient articles. Let's go to the Joysagar tank, another very beautiful tank, their father said, getting into the car. This tank was dug by the Ahom king Rudra Singha in memory of his mother Sati Jaimati. So after visiting the Thai Museum, Trisha and Lohit's father said that now they are going to see the Joysagar tank. This is another very big and beautiful pond in Session-35. And he also informed both Trisha and Lohit that that particular tank was dug by the king Rudra Singha, and Rudra Singha was the eldest son of Sati Jaimati and Gadadhar Singha. Why is she called Sati? Asked Trisha. So when they heard the term Sati in front before Jaimati's name, Trisha wanted to know why Jaimati is called as Sati. She sacrificed her life for her husband. She was tortured by Loraraja. This cruel king either killed or maimed young men of his kingdom. So why Jaimati is called as Sati, further explained Trisha, is that Jaimati had sacrificed her life for the sake of her husband Gadadhar Singha. At that point of time, the Ahom dynasty was ruled by a king named Loraraja, because he was quite younger in age, that is, he is called as Loraraja. And to protect and save his kingdom, he did a very cruel kind of thing. He used to he killed and maimed those young men of Ahom rule during the Ahom period of time. And to save his husband from Loraraja, Jaimati allowed his husband to save his husband Gadadhar Singha from the Loraraja. Jaimati allowed his husband to go to the Naga hills to hide himself there. And at that point of time, the Loraraja arrested Jaimati, and she had been tortured to tell where Gadadhar Singha was. But she sacrificed her life, did not tell about the whereabouts about Gadadhar Singha. That is why she is called as Sati. The Ahoms believed that only a physically perfect person could ascend the throne. A maimed man could never be a king. So there is a belief among Ahoms is that those persons, that particular person who is physically fit, he is allowed to become the king. So in this way, by maiming the young generation of Ahom dynasty, Lora wanted to save his kingdom. So by maiming the young man of his kingdom, he made sure that his throne would remain safe for rebels. So in this way, by maiming all those young men of Ahoms, Lora made sure that there will be no rebel in his kingdom, and his kingdom will be, his throne will be protected forever. Jaymati's husband, Gadadhar Singh, fled and hid himself in the Naga hills. Lora could not find him, so Jaymati was taken a prisoner. So Gadadhar Singh fled from the Ahom kingdom and he hid himself in Naga hills. So that is why Lora was not able to find him. So that is why his wife Jaymati was taken as a prisoner. She was tortured because she refused to reveal the whereabouts of her husband. After being inhumanly tortured for 14 days, Jaymati died. So she was tortured inhumanly for 14 days. But Jaymati did not reveal the whereabouts of Gadadhar Singh. So in this way, finally she not able to tolerate those torture and she died. But she did not reveal anything about Gadadhar Singh. So in this way, Jaymati sacrificed her life for the sake of her husband. So that's the reason why Jaymati is called as Sati. It is the story of Jaymati. So sad, said Trisha. Could Gadadhar Singh have become the king? So after listening to such a tragic story, naturally Trisha became dejected and she said, it's quite sad. She wanted to know whether Gadadhar Singh was able to become the king or not. And the father told, yes, later on, Gadadhar Singh became the king of Ahom kingdom. And his elder son, Rudra Singh, he became the king of Ahom after Gadadhar Singh. And that particular son of Gadadhar Singh, Jaymati, Rudra Singh, dug the pond Jaisagar tank. Oh, how beautiful and blue the waters are, Trisha exclaimed as they walked up to the Jaisagar tank. And here too are temples. So when they go near the pond, Trisha was very much fascinated to see the water of the pond. It looks blue and it's quite big as well. And she could visualize some temples on the bank of the tank, Jaisagar tank. Yes, said their mother. After strolling for a while, their mother said, we will come back here again tomorrow evening. So after spending some time on the bank of Jaisagar tank, the mother told, now we have to move from here and we will come again tomorrow in the evening to visit Jaisagar tank. They went to see the Ranghar. The roof is shaped like an inverted boat. The Ahom kings used to sit here and enjoy sports, their father explained. So from there, they went to Ranghar. The shape of Ranghar is, the top of Ranghar is very much like an inverted bowl. And they told Lohit and Trisha that the Ahom kings used to sit here and they used to enjoy the sports events going on the field. You mean stadium, Lohit said. You mean to say that this is a stadium where sports activities were going on? Actually an amphitheater. It is an outdoor sports ground. Then the father told, not exactly a stadium, but it was an amphitheater. Amphitheater means open space kind of thing. And so many outdoor sports were going on here during the Ahom rule. Look at the shape, it is circular. The royal family would come to watch the indigenous games of the sun like bird fight, buffalo fight, their mother explained. The mother also pointed out a significant fact regarding Ranghar is that the shape of Ranghar is like a round kind of shape. And she told them, look at the shape of Ranghar. And she also informed that in those days, Ahom kings used to enjoy all those indigenous sports in Assam. For example, bird fight, buffalo fight, etc. Such kind of sports activities were going on the field, and on sitting from the ranghar, the royal families used to enjoy that kind of sports activities. You know, at that time, because of its structure, this was a unique monument not only in India but in the whole Asia, for the sake as they walk around it. So when they walk around the ranghar, further inform one more thing regarding ranghar is that the structure of ranghar is quite unique, because the top of ranghar is very much like an inverted boat and the shape of ranghar is circular. So it is quite unique kind of structure in those days. Due to the unique structure of the ranghar, it was considered to be one of the significant construction of not only in India but the entire Asia. Who built it? Queen Ambika asked Lohit. So Lohit wanted to know who built this particular beautiful ranghar, and he guessed whether it was built by Queen Ambika, because formerly he had come to know that so many things were built by Queen Ambika, and that is why he guessed that this particular structure also made by Queen Ambika. No, King Pramakta Singha. Further corrected him that no, that is not Queen Ambika, but it was built by King Pramakta Singha. Then they went to the Talatal Ghar. It doesn't look so good, said Lohit, a little disappointed. He was expecting to see something more grand. So when they moved to the Talatal Ghar, Lohit was expecting to see something grand, like ranghar. But when he went there, he was a little bit disappointed because it doesn't look that attractive. What you see is the remains of the Talatal Ghar, mother said. Then the mother told, no, actually you have come here to see something grand. Talatal Ghar was itself a grand kind of thing, because why this looks a little bit dull, because you are not looking at the entire Talatal Ghar. What you have seen is just the remnants of Talatal Ghar. It had 4 stories above ground, further explained, and 3 stories underground. So the structure of Talatal Ghar is even more unique and more interesting, because it has underground structure actually. Further told that so you can see 4 stories of building above the ground, and apart from that you can also find 3 stories underground of the Talatal Ghar. There are 2 secret tunnels. Apart from the 3 underground stories, there were also 3 secret tunnels under Talatal Ghar. On one, which was 16 kilometers long, led to the Gargaon Palace, and the other, which was 3 kilometers long, led to the Dikho River. These 2 tunnels, one is 16 kilometers long, which was led straight to Gargaon Palace, and another is 3 kilometers long, which is straight to Dikho River. So why these 2 secret tunnels were made by the Ahom kings? So one is, that is 16 kilometers long, one can go to the Gargaon Palace through it, okay? And which was 3 kilometers long, which is led to the Dikho River. The purpose behind is that if any case they were attacked by outsider enemies, in those days war were quite common actually. The Assam was attacked by the Mughals several times. So at that point of time, if any case the Ahom kings were beaten by the enemy, so they have to save themselves. So through that secret tunnels, they could go straight to the Dikho River, and from there they could escape from the enemy's side. So for that particular purpose, these 2 secret tunnels were made by the Ahom kings, which is quite interesting and unique. Really, said Lohit quite impressed. Can we go through one tunnel to the Dikko river? So he was very much fascinated by this particular fact, and that is why Lohit wanted to go through that particular tunnel to the Dikko river. No, we can't, it is closed now. Then the father told, no, you can't go through that particular tunnel because it has been closed. Visitors were not allowed to go through that particular tunnel because the entry of the tunnel had been closed. I wish it were open, it would have been such an adventure for tourists, Trisha said. Then Trisha is disappointed. She wished that this should be open because if the visitors had the experience of going through that particular tunnel, it would have been a very adventurous and unusual experience for the visitors. And that is why, according to her, this kind of thing should be open so that people must have that particular experience of doing such unusual things. They stopped for a while at the Rudrasagar tank. So after that, they went straight to the Rudrasagar tank, where they spent some time there as well. During their 3-day stay, they had a good time visiting most of the historical sites in and around Session-35 town. So they stayed in Session-35 for 3 days, and that particular 3 days was quite exciting as well as unusual and interesting for both Trisha and Lohit because they could see historical sites and many memorable things in and around Session-35, and which was really quite exciting as well as unusual experience for both Trisha and Lohit, which they cannot forget in their life. So I think here I should stop for today. We almost come to the conclusion of this particular chapter. Our prior chapter to Heke, and we still have some portion left. For example, the author is saying about the Saraido. Okay, after spending 3 days in Session-35, they went to Saraido to have experience of that because it was the capital of Ahom kingdoms, which is founded by Sukapa. That is also a thing to be noted and thing to be observed as well. That is why father took them straight to Saraido to have experience of that as well. So we will discuss about that in the next class. And since this chapter is quite long and I need 4 videos to complete this particular chapter, and after concluding this particular chapter, I will rehearse some of the things which we have already discussed, because since the chapter is long, and I will tell you some important fact regarding this particular chapter which you should remember for your examination. So thank you for being with me, and see you in the next class.